Shalom, Grand Rising. I am coming to you today with a fantastic word. Do y'all remember this dude? The Fresh Prince of Belair? That little, God just opened up something. He exploded something in my mind today, and I want to share it with you. Now, I find this very interesting because when I go to Strong's coordinates, this word in particular is not there, period. When you go to any other Bible, the only thing that it will say is Bel, but it will not say the word that is dropped right here. So why am I talking about that name, right? Why? Well, I discovered that there is a book in the Bible that is not in all Bibles. It's a hidden book called Bel and the Dragon. And this book is, if you're on the Bible app, you can find it in the King James Version with the Apocrypha, or you can find it in the Good News British DC. But this book is about how King Cyrus worshipped. He was a king of Persia, and he took over the kingdom after the latest king died. And Daniel was one of King Cyrus's closest companions. And the king thought more highly of David than any of his other advisors. The Babylonians named an idol Bel. Each day, the people had to provide Bel with an offering of 400 liters of fine flour, 40 sheep, and 200 liters of wine. King Cyrus believed that Bel was a god. And here it says lowercase g. And each day he used to go and worship it. But Daniel worshipped his own God. On one day, the king asked Daniel, "Why don't you worship Bel?" Daniel answered, "I do not worship idols made with human hands. I worship only the living God, who created heaven and earth and is the Lord of all human beings." "And don't you believe that our God Bel is really alive?" asked the king. "Haven't you seen how much he eats and drinks every day?" Daniel laughed. "Don't be taken in, your majesty. This God you call Bel is nothing more than clay covered with bronze. It has never eaten or drunken anything." And at this time, the king became angry and called in 70 of the priests of Bel. He said to them, "I warn you that you will be put to death unless you can show me that it is Bel who is eating these offerings. If you prove to me that it is Bel, then I will have Daniel put to death for claiming that Bel is not a god." So Daniel agreed to this. Now hold on. We went from saying that Daniel and Cyrus, King Cyrus of Persia, they were companions, right? Then he got angry because, number one, Daniel called the dragon, Bel is a false god, number one. Number two, he's a statue of clay covered in bronze. And number three, Daniel's not bowing down to no idol made by human hands, right? So now there's a death threat going on. Y'all need to show me, I don't know why he didn't do this before, but y'all need to show me that Bel is eating his food or I'm going to put Daniel to death, right? So I'm going to just skip and let you know what goes on, because you can go read it for yourself. This is not me lying, but you're not going to find this in every version. You're not. That word Belair specifically is not BELIAR, it's not in the Bible. And I know that you're thinking, well, it's Belair, not BELIAR. But in Greek, it's probably, you look it up, it will show that it will come up the name of BELIAR. They just switched the name. Why do you think it's called the Fresh Prince of Belair, which means Satan is the prince of the air. And we all know now what Will Smith is into. And so I just want to connect in a minute. Just hold on. How that story ends is that the king finds out that there are tracks and footsteps of how many people? 70 of the priests of Bel to prove to him that Bel was real and that he was eating the food. So 70 of them, I don't know how often that they put this food out, but 70 of them go eat this food, right? And at first, the king is like, see, he ate it. But then Daniel's like, you see this? There's foot tracks going into the temple where Belair, the dragon, is, right? And so, with that being said, those 70 men got put to death because they lied. They were eating the food that they presented before this idol. Now, let me go to this next thing, right? This is a part of the Apocrypha which are hidden books of the Bible. This is the book of Reuben, and he had impiety, right? And so now he's talking to his sons while he is, on his bed, on his way out, warning them about fornication. And I'm going to put the definition of fornication so that you were able to see the true definition of fornication and how it affects. But I want you to listen for a quick second. This is the book of Reuben. Never heard of it before, right? Neither did I until God told me, the Holy Spirit led me to download the Apocrypha. And the book of Reuben, don't pay attention to the beauty of a woman. I'm just going to read it. Okay? Pay no heed, therefore, my children, to the beauty of women, nor set your mind on their affairs, but walk in singleness of the heart, in fear of the Lord, and expand labor on good works, and on study, and on your flocks, until the Lord gives you a wife, whom he will, that ye suffer not, as he did. Okay? I'm going to skip a few scriptures. Okay. For until my father's death, I had not boldness to look him in the face, or to speak to any of my brethren because of his reproach. And yet his father, Jacob, he much comforted him and prayed for me unto the Lord, that the anger of the Lord might pass me, even as though the Lord showed. And thenceforth until now, I have been on my guard and sinned not. This is Reuben talking. Therefore, my children, I say unto you, observe all things whatsoever I command you, and ye shall not sin. Listen to this. For a pit unto the soul is the sin of fornication, separating it from God and bringing it near to idols, because it deceiveth the mind and understanding, and leadeth down young men into Hades before their time. For many hath fornication destroyed, because though a man be old or noble, or rich or poor, he bringeth reproach upon himself with the sons of men, and derision with Beliar, which is Satan. Satan. And say it right here. Verse 8. For many hath fornication destroyed. Verse 8. You see that? You see that word right there, right? What's going on? The Fresh Prince of Belair, who is Satan. So this whole time you think you've been Philadelphia. Most of my days. And he's in complete agreement with this. He had to know. He had to know. Because look at the things that he's doing now. Fornication with his son. Fornication with different women. Fornication with men and women and his own wife. The beginning of this says what? That the Lord will give you a wife. Not you go based off of your own lustful desires. Okay? So this is the book of Reuben. You can download this app called Lost Books. It looks like this. The Apocrypha. I just searched up Apocrypha in the App Store and that came up. It'll say Lost Books. And I wanted to share that with you guys. The Lord wanted me to expose that because this has been going on. This is these celebrities, this is not something that's just now happening. This has been going on. And it's because of the lack of knowledge that we have that we don't understand the agenda of the enemy. The Fresh Prince of Belair. Satan is the prince of the air. Beliar. What are we doing? Why are they promoting these things? Straight into our homes. Straight into our minds. This has to stop.